Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Alice. We talk about books, we do some lifestyle and vlog content. So if you're looking for someone to stick on in the background whilst you make yourself a meal, clean your room, do that thing you've been putting off for the longest time, or you just want someone to listen to, then I'm your gal. So consider hitting that subscribe button. It is free and you can unsubscribe at any time. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. Let's get on with today's video. Don't mind this little thing going on here. It's a bit of volume, right? So today, guys, we are talking about, we are talking about a non-fiction book. Can you believe it? We read non-fiction. Dun dun dun. No, obviously, you know, guys, we did the 75 hard. We have finished now, but I'm still keeping this going because I also obviously wanted to finish this book, but I'm going to keep reading non-fiction as well, just at a slower pace than I get through my fiction books. But nonetheless, I really want to talk about this book today, so that's what we're going to do. I literally finished it this morning. How fun. Yeah, let's talk about Miranda Hart's I Haven't Been Entirely Honest With You. Dun dun dun. What did we think about it? So fun fact first, I feel like this could maybe tell you how this is going. I absolutely love Miranda Hart. I do, I always have. And my parents actually surprised me and they bought me a signed copy. So thanks, Miranda, for signing this copy. Obviously, I know you signed many, but thank you for that. And this is the back cover, which is really cool, huh? I love it. Those boots. I'm a green gal myself. So yeah, honestly, colour, visually stunning. Absolutely stunning. Love this. It's so eye-catching, isn't it? I mean, you know I don't love people on the cover, but it's Miranda Hart, so she's allowed to get away with that. But yeah, let's talk about it, eh? Also, fun fact, because I'm so extra, I absolutely did read this with my Peggy bookmark, so legend. What can I say? Super fan over here. Joking. Well, I mean I am, but I don't want to come off as too intense. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So basically, this book for me was a 5-star read. I feel like we were kind of gearing up for it, weren't we, guys? And I think it's the first book this year that I've given a 10 out of 10, right? I genuinely couldn't deduct it for anything. You know, I never actively read a book looking for things to deduct. Every book I start reading starts with a 10 out of 10, and then it will just be certain things that maybe change my mind on it. But this was a 10 out of 10, and it's slightly different scale because it is non-fiction and it is compared to fiction. So obviously, like, this has a lot of real life stuff and things that you can maybe relate to more, etc. So, you know, take that with a pinch of salt, and also remember that I do love Miranda Hart. So, you know, this might not be for everyone, but I genuinely think the book itself was really good, and that's why I gave it a 5-star. I mean, I can't believe you'd even ask, but obviously this book has 0 spice in it, and it's not a spicy book. It is a non-fiction book for a start, which doesn't mean it can't be spicy, because, you know, it could be on the topic of spice, but this book is certainly not that book, so I wouldn't look here for that. If asked would I recommend this book, I said yes, 100%. Genuinely felt like this book was amazing. I think if you like Miranda Hart, it has comforting elements to it, but I think also if you didn't necessarily know who she was, or you weren't too sure about her, I still think that this book is great, because although it has a lot of autobiographical stuff going on, it also generally is kind of self-help vibes as well. So I would give it a go. I really liked it. I really liked it. Are we ready to get on with the review, guys? Okay, you're gonna have to bear with me. I wrote a lot about this book. So, seatbelts on, please. Buckling in. Ready? Bring in the trusty laptop steed. Obviously, you know, guys, I'm going to tell you about the dense one today, but today's isn't that day. Today's Miranda's day, okay? So back to Miranda. Back to Miranda. This book was such a lovely journey for me. Not only was it written by my favourite comedian and the creator of my favourite comfort show ever. If you haven't watched Miranda, what are you doing? Go and watch it. But it was genuinely just such a wonderful book. I really did enjoy it. The hybrid self-help but also autobiographical style was really unique, and it also gave it an extra engaging quality. I think sometimes when you read self-help you can be a bit like, oh yeah, right, I've heard this, but she actually drew from experiences of her personal life, and I think probably because I connected with her more, maybe I felt it more strongly, but I think those personal life experiences really kind of added to what she was talking about. It made it easier to understand, and also it made it easier to be like, this is how you can apply this. Because I think sometimes it's easy to give someone the steps to do something, but you don't ever really show them or give them an example, and then it kind of gets to the time and they don't know how to apply the steps. So I feel like this kind of helped you actually be able to do that. I absolutely love that we got to read about her love story in here. Gosh, what an exciting time. Super happy for you, Miranda, if you're watching this for whatever reason, which you absolutely would not be, but obviously amazing. Well, as you know, my parents know that I love Miranda, so they were like, Miranda's gonna be on the One Show tonight. I was like, no way. So we watched it and she did her announcement on there and I was like, oh my god, like literally loved it. Was so happy. It was like giggling, smiling, you know, like it was such a good time, and I'm super happy for her. So that was great. I also watched when she was interviewed on the Graham Norton show. If you haven't watched that, go back and watch that episode because it was really good. And actually Selena Gomez was on there at the same time, and both Miranda and Selena Gomez have suffered with chronic illnesses, and I think that it was just a really nice moment between the two of them to watch. And also, like, you know, Miranda is just Miranda, so it was great vibes anyway. But her talking about that and being back on TV and stuff, like, it was just great. It was really nice to see it. So if you haven't watched it already, also go watch that. That was fun. I have literally always loved Miranda's show from the moment I first watched it. My parents and I, we sat down to watch the telly, the BBC, this new show coming on, Miranda, and honestly we all just pissed ourselves laughing, and I literally have never felt more comfortable watching something. Any of my comfort shows, it always takes a while, you know, to get in. You get that feeling and then it builds, but from episode 1 I was like, yes, this show has this feeling about it. And honestly, good times. Sorry guys, what is going on up here? I got a little spot. Please do apologise. I just caught myself in the mirror. What's happening with the hair? Look like Dobby. Master's giving Dobby a sock. Sorry, that was so good. Don't copyright me, because that was insane. Miranda is my all-time favourite show, you know. Yes, that is a big bold statement to say. You know, guys, I never make a claim about my favourite book or my favourite film, but my favourite show will always be Miranda. Yes, it did beat The Office and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Schitt's Creek, many more, but that's not to say I don't love those shows. I do, but if I need a comfort show or I need something on, that is what I will always put on. You know, it does take it quite far as well. So you see those magnets on there? That's actually Miranda. There's a little notepad there, which is also Miranda. And I actually have Miranda pajamas, which are kind of fun. I should have probably put them on, but actually they're in the wash, so I didn't plan that too well. But yeah, honestly, I feel like I'm a walking advert for this. Hashtag not sponsored. Could you imagine? Wish it was. No, obviously I didn't need Miranda to sponsor me for me to tell you this book is fantastic. It is fantastic. So get reading, guys, get reading. I wasn't just rambling, waffling on about TV shows. I had a point. Basically, how I always come back to the show is how I feel about this book. I feel like I would always come back to this book, use it as something to consult, something to kind of learn from, and I can see that in this book as well as the show. And that was the point why I went on that whole long tangent about that. I'm so sorry, you're probably like, why is she babbling on about shows? We want to hear about the book. That's what I was talking about. I've already learned some great lessons and treasures, as she calls them in her book, from this, and I feel like I've already started to apply some, and genuinely I'm loving it. It's given me a great perspective on things. It's sort of really helped with any times that I've kind of felt more anxious or worried about things, you know, actually finding out the root cause of why you feel that and not just the thing at the time, like focusing on that instead, is just honestly changed my world. It's definitely reframed my perspective, and I feel like now I'm able to kind of coach myself. It sounds really weird, but you'll get it if you read the book. You just kind of not argue with yourself, but you just kind of be like, why? Ask yourself questions and just like reframe the perspective, and I don't know, it really works. Read it, and I'm doing an absolute crap job at explaining it because I don't really want to spoil this book. I want you to go and read it, read all the lessons, read everything in there, and just kind of get your own vibe from it. So I don't really want to like spoil it, but basically I'm trying to say is it has helped me. It has helped me. That is what I'm trying to say. I also love that at the end there is actually a recommended reading section, and I just found it so cool because I feel like people never do this, but it's the recommended reading, but she actually writes like a mini little synopsis about each book, or like what she thought of the book, because you know sometimes when you just have that massive list at the end of the book and it's like all these recommended readings and you're like, okay, but what? I'm just gonna read that title and you're like, okay. Whereas I feel like this actually gives you a little bit of perspective on it, and I really like that, like extra points for that. I feel like it's just so smart because that the recommended reading can be really overwhelming, and sometimes you do want to carry on a topic, like one book isn't enough, and I feel like this just made it feel more manageable. Do you know what I mean? Honestly, I just don't think I can say a negative point about this book because I genuinely don't have one, and you guys know I can be a bit harsh, I can be a bit intense, and I will literally say what I'm thinking of the book, but I don't have a negative to say. I genuinely don't. It just made me feel so fulfilled, comforted, confident in myself, and thank you, Miranda. That's why I want to say thank you, because this is such a great book. And honestly, I know it's not about this, but what a comeback. This woman's literally been off battling, doing the utmost, learning how to be herself, learning how to understand the concept of chronic illnesses and living with that, finding ways to, you know, keep living and stuff. Like, she's really been out there doing the utmost, and it's so amazing that she gets to share her story now, and I feel like this could really help a lot of people, a whole spectrum of people, anyone that just needs a little bit of a reminder to kind of love yourself and be yourself, ranging from that to literally anything, suffering with mental illnesses, chronic illnesses, life, really, just life lessons. I feel like I really think that this is a fantastic book. I know obviously this can sometimes be a little bit of a slippery slope when you talk about this in topics, because you know there's so many things that I don't understand because I haven't lived them myself, and I think that's what the beauty of this book is that you take away what you want and what you need from this book, because all of the treasures can apply to anyone. And although we get Miranda's personal experience of what that helped her learn or overcome, it doesn't mean it can't be applied to anyone as well, and I think that's what she does really well. This book definitely feels accessible to everyone. It feels like you're sat down with your friend and they're just talking to you, giving you some advice, telling you about what's been going on with them, and I loved it, okay. Right, anyway, I should stop waffling on because I have been talking for the longest time. So I don't think you need another super long review because we all know that Fourth Wing was me too. If you're going to read a non-fiction book this year, I'd really recommend giving this one a go. Or next year, you know, if you're not ready for it just yet. Put it on your Christmas list. Go on, put it on your Christmas list, or if you've got a birthday coming up, or you want to treat yourself, go treat yourself. Why not, eh? Well, that's all we got time for today, folks. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Have you subscribed? Thank you. Thank you very much. And as always, until the next one, I'll see you then. Bye. It was really cool because she had lots of like little jokes in there as well, which I enjoyed. Why do I always need to stretch after this? Is it because I'm sitting without back support? What is this bit of hair doing? That's what I would like to know. Never mind.